Hello and welcome to City Life. I'm Beverly Thompson. Durham is widely known for our green spaces, our parks, and our greenways. One of our most popular trails is the American Tobacco Trail, used by thousands for recreation as well as transportation. Over recent months, there have been violent incidents along the trail, prompting some to question their safety while on the trail. Here with me today to talk about what's being done to keep our trails safe and beautiful are Rhonda Parker and Rick Polley. Rhonda is the Director of Durham Parks and Recreation, and Rick is the General Manager for the American Tobacco Campus. Welcome to you both, and thanks so much for joining me.
Good to see you.
So Rhonda, we're going to get started with you. What is being done to focus on safety on the trails now?
Quite a bit has been done. The police department has increased patrols. We have our utility terrain vehicles out there. We have 3 of those. We have gone through our crime prevention through environmental design and gone through and cut back undergrowth and closed off some unofficial footpaths to make it safer. We've also developed a task team, and our motto is our trails, our towns, because we want to make sure all our trails are safe.
Well, let me back up just a minute and ask you, why is the American Tobacco Trail such an important part of Durham?
Well, it's a historical piece because it follows our railroad trails, and it also is a commuter trail for us. Quite a few people use it to go to work and to shop, and it's also for recreational and health purposes, which is very important.
Okay, all right. Rick, let me turn to you now. Why is the American Tobacco Campus getting involved in trail safety?
Well, Beverly, I would say that the American Tobacco Campus really lives and breathes everything Durham. And, we're always going to look for ways that we can be impactful and have a meaningful impact. And, we look at the American Tobacco Trail as, a tremendous amenity in Durham. We're also very proud of it. And I think it's a pretty easy decision for us that, where we see challenges within the community, and all communities have their challenges. If we feel that we can help and be impactful, then we're going to be there.
Well, I might say, too, that your company has been an integral part of Durham for a long time now, doing great things, and we as a city certainly appreciate it. But I want to ask you, how exactly are you supporting the Our Trails, Our Town campaign?
Well, I would start by saying on the campus itself, we've got a tremendous community of tenants and visitors, and we work with them every day. We're working on communication strategies to try to help them make better choices. A lot of the folks on the campus use the trail every day, so we try to provide information about, using the buddy system, make sure you always are carrying a cell phone with you, a whistle, something like that. From a broader sense, we're certainly behind the scenes providing resources and support to the Department of Parks and Recreation, to law enforcement, and to all the frontliners that are out there every day, working on maintaining the trail and keeping it safe.
So Rhonda, let's turn back to you. So how is the city actually supporting this campaign?
Well, the city's supporting it. First of all, the city manager did a great op-ed that appeared in the newspaper, and it talked about some of the highlights of what we're doing. We have our GIS mapping so that if there's an emergency, it can be pinpointed quickly. We've aligned it with streets so we will know exactly where people are located, and that is a joint effort between the police department, planning, and transportation, and 911 emergency communications to do that. So it really has brought a lot of departments together to also realize that we all have a piece of the trails and how important it is to the community. I've heard people say that they bought their houses because of the proximity the trail is to their home. So people have made decisions to move there for a reason. And so we want to make sure that everyone is working together because it's a community effort, and we're seeing that through people interested in, and groups interested in adopting parts of the trail and also being involved in the Trail Watch program.
Now, what are some of the other groups that have gotten involved in helping to maintain the trail or even do events on the trail?
Well, we had a group of students, October 24th, the Voyager School. They came out and had a work day with General Services Department and did quite a bit. I believe you have some pictures of that. And we also have worked with the various departments of walking through and coming up with some plans on how to make it safer, and working with Capital Broadcasting on how to improve, beautify the trail. So we've done quite a few things.
Okay. Rick, why do you think it's important for other businesses to get involved and support efforts to improve the trails?
Well, I'd say that, we subscribe to the notion that, strong communities make strong businesses, and vice versa. One really can't thrive without the other one. And, we've always been big believers, and we have participated all the time in educational, cultural, environmental initiatives, wherever we can get involved in the city, wherever we can be impactful, as I had said before. And I think it's inherent in really creating strong community, strong businesses, strong city.
Now, what will you say to other businesses who might be questioning now whether or not they should get involved, or even how they can get involved?
Well, I might ask, why not? I would say that first and foremost, I think a lot of kudos are due to many businesses and community groups throughout Durham that has really helped to make Durham the city that it is. I mean, it's really praised far and wide for its creativity, its success. It's a great place, but as I said before, not unlike other cities and communities, there's always challenges. So therefore, there's always opportunities for businesses, community organizations to get involved, and help provide that fuel that keeps us on that, what I call northerly trajectory that Durham has been on, which has just been great.
Wow, well said, well stated. Rhonda, if people remember one thing about this campaign and how they can get involved, what would it be?
It would be that it's our trails and it's our town. It's a community opportunity for us all to come together and take advantage and not let a few people ruin it for the rest of us. And it's also, we're working with the Durham Open Space and Trails and Bike Ped and Recreation Advisory Commission, and quite a few volunteer groups are really excited about getting involved, and get involved whether as a trail watch volunteer or adopt a trail park through Parks and Recreation, or if you have a group that wants to do a project, go through General Services, Keep Durham Beautiful. The main thing is to stay connected and stay involved.
Okay, so if they'd like to contact you for more information, can they do so at your website?
They can do so at our website, or they can contact Mel Gosia
Atkinson.
Thank you. Or you can call our main number, 919-560-4355.
All right. Thank you both so much for joining me.
Thank you for inviting
Delighted.
us.
There's so much the community can do to get involved and really support this very important campaign and support the trails.
Exactly.
All right, thank you again. We're going to take a quick break now, but when we come back, we'll talk with the Durham Police Department and a Trail Watch volunteer about how you can stay safe on Durham's trails. We'll be right back.
It's sleek, powerful, and efficient. And this crime fighter is on North Carolina roads and coming to a city near you. If you're drinking and driving, watch out for the Batmobile. The breath alcohol testing mobile unit is a remote processing station and mobile courtroom for immediate on-site forensic tests and judicial appearances. The Batmobile, law enforcement's latest tool in the fight against drunk driving. Remember, it's booze it and lose it.
This message brought to you by the Governor's Highway Safety Program.
This is public enemy number one. It goes by many aliases and can be found in food scraps, sauces, and even dairy products. The crime? Overflowing sanitary sewers, damaging homes, and exposing you to potentially harmful disease-causing organisms. How can you help? Never pour grease down sinks or toilets. Put food scraps into the trash. And dispose of grease responsibly or recycle at your local disposal center. Don't let this happen in Durham. For more information, visit the City of Durham website at durhamnc.gov.
Welcome back to City Life. We've been talking about how the city and local businesses are working together to improve safety on city trails. Joining me now to talk about what you can do to stay safe are Sergeant Hector Borges and Jean Carleton. Sergeant Borges is with the Durham Police Department's Community Services Division, and Jean is involved with the new Durham Trail Watch volunteer program. Welcome, Sergeant Borges and Jean. Thank you so much for joining me.
All right, nice to be here.
All right, Sergeant Borges, let's get started with you. Early in the show, we talked about some proactive things that the police department is doing to address crime on the trails. There's something new called the Durham Trail Watch volunteer program. Tell us a little bit about that program and what it's designed to do.
Sure. Well, similar to the Neighborhood Watch program, the Volunteer Trail Watch program is a partnership between community members, businesses, and law enforcement working together to reduce crime and victimization on the American Tobacco Trail.
Okay. All right. And Gene, I know you decided to become a volunteer in this new program. Why did you decide to get involved?
Well, I'm a Durham resident and also an American Tobacco Trail user as well. So I really felt the need to become involved in this program. I work for Performance Bicycle, and I really felt that it's in our best interest and also the best interest of the local community, trail users, local businesses, and the city of Durham, that we make the trail a lot safer place to be outdoors with our friends and family.
And it's a natural fit for you too, Performance Bicycles. Come on.
Exactly,
yeah.
exactly.
What could be better?
Performance Bicycles has been great, helping the local communities with promoting safe and enjoyable cycling experience for everyone. So, like you said, this was a perfect fit for Performance.
Okay. Now, Sergeant Borges, let's get back to you. What are some of the criteria that a person has to meet before they can become a volunteer on this with this program?
Well, we would need for them to apply for the Volunteers Trail Watch program, and once they pass an abbreviated criminal background history, then we would ask them to go through a training, and after that they can go ahead and participate on their time by patrolling the trail and calling in any suspicious activity.
Now, criminal background check, that's an important part of making sure the volunteer is a good person to be doing this, right?
That's correct. We want the volunteers to be representing the segment of the community that is abiding by the law.
Right, right. And I think another important point you mentioned was people can volunteer on their own time.
That's correct. We're not asking people to specifically patrol at certain hours. They can do it at their time and leisure.
Now, Gene, I know you mentioned that your company is involved in this Trail Watch program. Tell us a little bit about what you guys are doing.
Well, at the first Trail Watch meeting that we had at the City Council chambers, one of the safety tips that came up was for trail users to use a signaling device, such as a whistle, to help alert other trail users if they needed assistance. I thought that was a really, really good tip to use, and I brought that idea to our community relations team at Performance, and they really jumped on the idea.
Wow.
Performance ended up purchasing 300 whistles, or safety whistles. They can be worn around the wrist, and we handed them out at our very first orientation, our Trail Watch orientation meeting at the trailhead on Moorhead Street. And the trail volunteers loved the whistles, and the trail users that day, they loved the whistles too.
Okay.
So it was just perfect.
Good, good. Now, Sergeant Borges, you know everybody might not want to get involved in the volunteer program, but I understand there's some simple things that people can do to protect themselves. And what are those steps?
Well, the first one is to be alert. If you're gonna wear any type of listening device with an iPod, just try to use it at a volume that you can still be aware of your surroundings. Another thing you can do is to carry a cell phone, just in case you see something suspicious or an emergency arises. You can call 911. The other two things is, one that are very, very important, is to try not to walk by yourself. If you're going to run, jog, or ride your bicycle, try to either let someone know that you're out there by yourself, but at the same time, if you can have a friend and enjoy the American Tobacco Trail, please do that, just in case something happens to you. And last but not least, know your location of the trail. It's very important if something happens that you know where you're at, so we can respond as quickly as possible to your location.
I understand we put more trail markers out now to help people identify where they are on the trail. Okay. Now, Gene, for our viewers watching, what would you say about getting involved about their getting involved to help protect our greenways? What would you tell them?
You know, I tell them that participation with this program is very easy. The volunteers, like Sergeant Borges said, they're not scheduled for any specific time. So volunteer trail watch is very convenient for anybody to be able to come out and help us out. You know, getting out on the trail is, shoot, it's fun to get outside and exercise. And not only that, but it also creates a larger trail presence for everybody. So, you know, it really helps create a safer atmosphere. In addition to the Trail Watch volunteers can also help other trail users learn how to use the trail more safely as well.
Great.
So the biggest thing I think though, a lot of volunteers are concerned about is their own personal safety while they're on the trail. And the one thing that we really want to remind them is to avoid confrontations. That our main course of action that we use when we're on the trail is to call 911.
Now, I know you'd probably second that.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, Sergeant Borges, we have shared a lot of information about what people can do, but if there's just one thing you want to advise people to do or to remember about being safe on the trail, what would that be?
I would just ask people to come out and enjoy the trail, be safe, and if you see any type of suspicious activity, please call 911.
All right. Well, thank you both for sitting down with me. I really appreciate it. We've certainly highlighted a lot of things people can do to be safe on one of Durham's greatest attributes, the American Tobacco Trail, and other trails throughout the Durham. All right, thank you so much. Well, that does it for this edition of City Life. If you have a comment or a future show idea, visit us on Facebook and let us know what you think. You can also keep up with all of the latest city news by following us on Twitter. And you can watch all of the other city programming on demand from the DTV8 webpage and on YouTube. I'm Beverly Thompson. Thank you for joining me to learn more about City Life in Durham.